Hello everybody, it's Lionel Rich here with Canadian bands. I saw a video by MGK Boston, MGK Boston, and then I just watched one yesterday, Uncommon Pallor. They were talking about Canada Day, I guess it's July 1st. I think I knew about Canada Day. I think Bobby Gass, I might have learned it from him, but I forgot, There's a lot of Canadian VC channels. They do have their fair share of squirrely guys, though. But it's the knuckleheads of that batch that makes it great, That's it, whatever. Now, if you look up Canadian bands, the bands that pop up generally, I don't have any of their records. And there's one band that does pop up that I do really like, but I only have them on CD, and that's Skinny Puppy. That was a great band, and they don't sound like a typical Canadian band. I don't know. Is there such a thing? Whatever. I didn't know. Let's just put it back this way. Back in the 90s, early 90s, I didn't know they were from Canada. And another artist that might surprise you, that I like, at least her first 5 or 6 records, I only have on CD, and that's Shania Twain. Yeah, okay, it's pop country, but I don't know, there was something about her songwriting that kind of clicked with me, And another one is K.D. Lang. I've shown this record. I was going to show one of the others, but I couldn't find it, so whatever. I'm showing this one again. She's a great country, now more of a pop singer, the last I've heard, but great voice. And yeah, I really dig K.D. Lang. Now, I'm going to start off with this Peace War compilation. It's like a compilation of punk bands from all over the globe. And there are about 4 or 5 from Canada on here, so I thought I would mention them. We got Unwarranted Trust from Canada. We got Scum from Canada. We got DOA from Canada. And I think there's one more. Porcelain Forehead from Canada. Very good hardcore punk compilation. Now this one is all Canada. In fact, it's all Vancouver, Canada. Vancouver Independence. This one I bought it used, probably $1 or $2 at Middle Earth Records. And I bought it because the Subhuman, the Canadian Subhumans have a couple of songs on here. But most of the rest of the tracks don't sound like the Subhumans. So I don't know. I didn't play this one a lot. I just played it, and it's actually pretty good. I would say after the Subhumans, I kind of like the B-sides, which is they kind of have a ska feeling to them. But what's cool about them is they have 2 keyboard players. It's an interesting take. The Metros, I think they were a keyboard heavy band. And then I think it's Sea Monkey. They were just kind of weird. But yeah, it's a decent cross section of types of music too. Now the heavy hitters. I'm going to go with the heavy hitter first for me. And that's DOA. This is their first album, In the Shrink, with a hype sticker. And you can see that it's a little curve in there. So I store the record outside. I don't generally recommend that because of ring wear. But since this has the shrink on it, you're not going to get any ring wear. Off topic. This is their second album, and I bought this one when it came out. This was the first DOA I ever bought. It's probably still my favorite. Hardcore 81. Fantastic, man. You got Joey Shithead vocals and guitar, Randy Rampage on bass, and Greg, what is it? Oh, you got another guitarist, Dave Gregg, and you got, oh, of course, Chuck Biscuits on drums. One of the best drummers in rock. Then you got this, I got this live one, and this is in the string, and this one is definitely curved. Yeah, I store this one outside of the, I should just tear the shrink off. I mean, that other one has the hype sticker, so I wouldn't, but I should just tear it off for this. But when I go to sell these records, I could probably get more money because it's in the shrink. So, I mean, how stupid it is, but it is what it is. This is a live record, Triumph of the Ignoroids, and it's actually a really good sounding record. I know there was something about this cover, but whatever. It's actually really, the vocals are great on this. Yeah, it's not a bad live record. This is the last DOA that I ever bought. I was disappointed with this one, and I just kind of didn't buy anything else by him. It's War on 45. I just listened to this, I think it was yesterday, and I really like side one a lot. I remember thinking that, this is just punk by numbers by this point, and it kind of is, but it sounds really good. Starts out with Liar for Hire, really good song. But side two, they have a cover of War, and I remember not liking that. I thought it was okay, I'm re-listening right now, or recently. I thought it was okay. But they have a War in the East. It's like a reggae song, and it drags on for, it's 4 minutes and 25 seconds. I'm sure it's the longest song, and it seems like it's 8 minutes, man. It goes on forever. And yeah, that with War, the cover of War, what is it good for? Kind of ruins side two for me. The other two songs are okay. And I got one more DOA, and this was sent to me by Martin Jones, who is a Detroit mailman. And he wants to let everybody know that these videos of the worst neighborhoods in Detroit are fake. The neighborhoods are pretty much, a lot of them are pretty much abandoned. And the poor people that are still there, they're very nice. They offer them water when it's hot. And, he said he has no problems at all there. And he's as white can be. But anyways, he sent this record to me, and it's signed by Joey Shithead, Northern Avenger. And I must admit, I really like this album, man. I was blown away at how good it is. Thank you, Martin. Another heavy hitter is Dayglow Abortions. Look, I don't know how good you can see it, but that's a great shot of a punk band live. So much energy, man. People flying around, Great. I bought this based on the album cover. This has some great songs. But then it does have some songs that are kind of just okay, average. And that's what prevents this from being a great album, But it does have its great moments, man. And the last song on side two, Black Sabbath, is fantastic. Now for some littler known bands, we got Gentlemen of Horror. Now they're from a town, Kelowna, or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's inland. It's like a 7-hour drive to Vancouver. I know one of the members of this band did that fanzine, Indecent Exposure. People that were into punk, they know that fanzine. And yeah, this is side one of this is really good. Side two is not good at all. Side two is basically a 1982 rehearsal, and it's not very good sound quality. I would have rather just seen this half of this on A and half on B, and maybe put it at 45 RPM. But it contains their EP. They only came out with one EP. Has 1981 demos and 1982 demos. And side one of this is really good. It's really fast punk rock songs, kind of like in the West Coast vein of things. And they played with some good bands. Now we got Chronic Submission, a band out of Toronto. This is their first album, came out in '83, and I believe it was a cassette-only release. And this record is mastered from old cassettes, flaws and all. Fantastic. Great. Outstanding. That's my new word. No more fantastic. Outstanding. Actually, I would say it's good. A lot of songs. 14 songs on side one. 25 songs total. So I put this on the turntable and it's like... I mean, it sounded good, but it was kind of like drudgy. Turned out this is 40. Play this one at 45. Regular punk rock from what you would expect from these kids. I mean, look at this guy, man. He looks like he's 14 or something on drums. But even the singer, you can tell he's like a 16, 17-year-old. And this is their second album. Came out a year later, 1984. This one has a more of a... It's a hardcore punk, but with little guitar flashes, you know, thrown in there. I guess a lot of people nowadays would say, oh, this is thrash, this metal. You know, metal tries to claim everything nowadays, you know. I mean, it's funny how people pigeonhole punk in such a small space nowadays, you know. But anyways, that's another topic for another video. And yeah, this is really good. I think most people would probably prefer this one. Another one, Micro Edge. Another band from Toronto. And this band played with a lot of really good bands. Circle Jerks. What distinguishes this band is this guy right here, man. Raging vocals. Just fantastic. I really dig this. I guess this came out in 80. Probably recorded in 83. I think it's 1983 demo. Really good. Raging songs. But the vocalist, man, he's fantastic. And we got one more little known band, and this one is Four-Way Anal Touch Fight. Now, people thought this was a band that, you know, came out of Scandinavia, one of those Scandinavian countries, you know. But it turns out it was actually two Eskimos from Norman Wells, Canada, released this. Fantastic. I mean, outstanding. And I'm going to end it with two current bands. We got Bootlicker from Vancouver. Man, these guys, their sound isn't muddy, but it's just like, it's like there's not a lot of distinction between the instruments. It's just like a bombardment of sound. This is their first record. And then this album is a collection of their first four EPs, 7 inches. I had this one, I guess their fourth one. I didn't have these three, so I bought this. This is a little rougher than that album, and that album is pretty rough. This one here, and even this one, it sounds like Motorhead with G.G. Allen production values, you know. It's interesting, to say the least. And probably my favorite Canadian band currently is Chain Whip. I should have worn my yellow Chain Whip shirt, but this is the shirt I slept in, and I'm making the video before we turn the cooler on because it makes noise. This was the first record I bought by them. I think it might have been their first release, other than maybe some cassettes. This is fantastic, man. They're from the Vancouver, just like DOA. And this singer, he sounds like Joey Shithead, you know? It's almost like, there's a good picture of the band. I've shown this record before. This one here, I got next, I believe. I think this is their second release, Two Step to Hell on vinyl, on Neon Taste, the only record company from Vancouver. And then they released their demo from 2020. All three cool. All three. And that's it, man. I didn't show a lot of common stuff, but I didn't dive as deep as Uncommon Pallor, man. His video was fantastic. And MGK Boston, it sounds like a Boston serial killer, you know? MGK, you know? Yikes. Take care, everybody. Canada Day. Tomorrow's 4th of July. Go Jets.